Every single Enduro of Nations rider successfully completed the opening day of competition here in Bergamo. That doesn't mean it was a straightforward start to the week. Wet weather conditions made for tricky specials and some sizable gaps between the teams on the timesheets, and some of the favourites starting a little bit further back down the order caught the trickiest of those track conditions. You join me, Alex Raby, for the second of our live studio shows on fim-moto TV from the Fiera di Bergamo. And I'm delighted to say that between us, your co-hosts have 4 ISD titles between them, because I've got Antoan Meo alongside me. And Antoine, great pleasure to have you here. First of all, just tell us what it is that's keeping you busy at the 6 days this year.
No, actually, we are looking around. It's a long time they not come at the 6 days to watch your friends and everything. Actually, tomorrow I need to leave for go testing, and was on the road, so I stopped to watch a little bit, because 6 days in Bergamo, it's really important for the sport, because Bergamo, it's like the capital of the enduro off-road. So I'm very happy to be here.
So if you're going tomorrow, it's the 2.5 days of Enduro this time, which is a little bit more manageable than 6 days. But look, you're a legend of this championship, of this event. Tell us some of your great memories. 4 title-winning seasons with France, as we said.
Yeah, I mean, now with the time was completely different. We at the moment we was a very strong team, and it's very hard to say this, but many times was like if you go in holiday 2 weeks with your friend, and then we go in the 6 days, and was very easy for many years. So was a very good moment. I think the best was in Germany. Germany was really tough. Was raining every day. Was cold, and for the Frenchmen, for the south, it's difficult. But was a big battle until the motocross test with number 10 for the overall. So was a good memory.
And clearly, you love this competition. You talked about the friends you've made and so on, but you loved it so much that you came back to ride in club as well.
Yeah, I actually have a big chance. The first time was in 2019. Was for a charity event. And in a hand, we do again competition. I was fighting with Dante Oliveira, so it was also a nice memory. But you know, like you say, I have this competition in the blood and never give up. All the time, I want to give all my best, and it's really nice.
So 173 kilometers of riding under our belts yesterday, and of course the same course again today. Let's take a look at the standings and how we ended day 1 here in Bergamo. In the World Trophy, France taking advantage of their early starting position as reigning champions to claim the lead. Favourites Italy and Sweden starting down the order after retirements last year. But after an underwhelming first lap, they managed to battle back to second and third positions. The Swedes, though, conceded almost 2 minutes, putting them in a scrap with Spain and the USA for a place on the podium. The Junior Trophy provides the closest contest for the medal rankings so far. The top 3 teams separated by little more than a minute after the opening 6 specials. Italy boasting the 2 fastest riders, putting them in an early lead of some 43 seconds. France and Australia close behind. The USA surprisingly tailed off, evenly matched with Spain for 4th. In the Motor X Women's Trophy, the Americans finished 1, 2 and 3 on the timesheets, giving them a comfortable early lead. Opening day struggles for newcomer Madison Healy, leaving Australia 7 minutes back and only narrowly ahead of France. Francesca Nocera putting in a standout performance for Italy. They sat 4th after day 1. We're back into Loop 1 today. Val Cavallina and Val Calepio for a second day. Spectacular scenery, as you can see, the olive groves and the vineyards around the River Olio, the clear green Lake Endine and the River Cerio, its tributary. The first special test of the loop located near the confluence of those 2 rivers, the cross tests in the municipality of Polosco. Heading through agricultural ground to the southeast of Gandosso, continuing for the day's Enduro test, then just east of Zandobbio for special tests 3 and 6. And Antoine, just tell us a little bit more about the ground, the route, and the special tests that the riders have faced on these 6 days.
I think today it's a not very tough day on the travel, but was really tough on the stage. Was, like you say, different ground. So the first stage was on the stony place, where on the last lap the track was really rough and was moving. So all day the rider was touching the regulation of the bike. And then we have the second stage was more enduro stage on the bush, and after you go on the field. And the last one was more or less short, but really, really enduro one. In the field ending was a slippery yesterday in the mud, and today the last lap was coming very dry, and the rider was difficult to keep the traction.
Well, the first of our riders, you might be able to see in the background of the shot, heading back into the paddock at the Fiera di Bergamo at the end of the second day of competition here. So let's head in to look in some more detail at the World Trophy. And invited to the studio today, we have the top two in scratch from the 2022 and 23 at 6 days editions. There are also two of our pace setters at the start of the 2025 edition, Josep Garcia and Andrea Verona. Verona, the 2022 Enduro GP world champion and champion with Italy in 2021. And Josep, 4 consecutive 6 days as the scratch winner. And we've got a special guest alongside me as well. So, Antoine, maybe you want to kick off and just ask these guys how they got on today.
No, I mean, today was very nice battle between both riders. Was interesting to see also different style riding. I have one question. Did you have a starting order? I mean, because I know when I was riding with René and Pella, was I never want to start first. And I see all the time, Verona, Andrea, you start first. You prefer or?
Depends on the test. I was not waiting for him, and I think he was not waiting for me. Sometimes he starts first, and sometimes.
Me, I just need to be, because the follow riders send us some pictures, videos from the test, because after us is more than 600 riders riding, so the track changed a lot. And for sure depends the test. First lap I open first and second. Then last lap, I think I don't open a test. Maybe the second one, yeah, the second one. I don't care. I just give my 100% inside the test. Sometimes, for sure, it helps to have a line.
A line,
to
yeah.
see where it goes. But to be honest, in the cave, I see the line in the last lap. But maybe one stone change you completely the line.
No, but I know also then Andrea have very different line. Many times he can cut the track. But I told you this because in 6 days, I think in Germany, I miss the overall for 2 seconds because number 10 start behind me, and I tried to cut all the time the stage because it was completely destroyed. And fuck, he take my line all the time and he give me like 2 seconds. And very hard, accept. It's for this because I see that today was many times very close between both, and
me sometimes is good, but sometimes not because it can you can lose the focus. You know, sometimes Mauricio Miculus go in front, and the line is strange.
Shit line.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, not because it's Mauricio,
Yeah.
but because maybe he's trying something different, you know.
So.
maybe
And,
miss little speed.
Sometimes.
Yeah, no, but
depends
it's
the
different.
test. Depends the test. It can, for example, in the cave, in the first one, first lap I go in, I have my lines clear, so I don't care about lines, you know.
Okay.
Second lap, I see his line, and sometimes I try to follow, and I make mistakes because I was focused on the line, you know.
Yeah,
it's
So
true.
when you, I think when you are confident and you have the confidence, it's better follow your feelings.
Yeah, very well. But it's just for
Sometimes it
understand.
helps, for sure.
Yeah, but because I was one guy was cutting all the time the line, and
Yeah.
Namboten was normally running around, and then one time was bad for me, but it's like this.
Yeah.
But all the time, Mikelou start in the front of you in stage?
I think here, no.
But World Championship, maybe
Yeah, normally,
he
yeah.
tried the test.
Okay.
Maybe if there is like in Wales
Any
some
problem or something.
Yes,
yeah,
they
yeah.
try.
Yeah.
So maybe give you more troubles than...
Me, I try to stay focused.
Yeah.
Okay.
And look, today, the two of you, there's been nothing between you. I know, Giuseppe, you've taken all of the tests and whatever, but Andrea, in every single one, it's been really, really close between you. So it's quite nice to see you sit here to relax at the end of the day and so on, because, you know, on the times, there's nothing between you.
Yeah, I think we did 3 tests in less than half a second. I don't remember exactly which one this test were, but it gave me quite a lot on the first test, like 5 seconds or something, and then on test 2 seconds, and then we stay at that gap for all the time till the last test. So it was a good battle for sure.
Yeah, we are pushing the limits every corner, and it's crazy because with the type of test, like in the cave, with that many lines, stones, how it's possible to end the test close like that. But yeah, I was, like he said, I was able to open a small gap already in the first lap. Then I don't manage nothing because I was pushing. 7-8 seconds is nothing. So yeah, at the end, it was a fun battle, to be honest.
Yeah.
We're seeing some of the images from the competition yesterday. Obviously, before the start yesterday, we had a lot of wet weather. So, you know, we started the day with see some splash, some some rivers almost in areas of the course. What was it like today? Not only because, you know, 700 riders going through twice yesterday and again today, but also because it's much drier. It's really hot today, as we can see in the studio.
Yeah, yesterday it has been not so easy for us, Italy. I mean, that we were starting quite on the back, and for sure we found a better first test because it was on the gravel and we had some lines, so it was better for sure. But then on the other 2 tests with the grass, we didn't find any grass. It was just mud, and it was really slippery. And the other guys in front were able to put some gap to us, but then we managed to have a better second lap, and I think we also find a bit better condition than the guys in front because it was even more dry, and yeah, definitely different to today. Today the tests were quite dry, I would say, already from the first lap.
Yeah, yesterday, like you said, the first test, first lap, we had advantage in 2 of them. Then in the last lap, they start quite in the back, so half an hour, and the test dries a lot. Yeah. But I think first lap we have a little bit more of advantage with the grass. But me, I make a big mistake yesterday. I think everyone see the crash in social media. I like throw a lot of seconds there. I get stuck with the foot pegs in the road, and I just go over the bars. But yeah, this can happen. We are pushing the limits. You need to be clear to push in every test, and yeah, it is what it is sometimes.
The funniest thing, Antoine, at the end of the day yesterday, when I was talking to a lot of the riders, the ones that started at the front said, "Oh, we had a disadvantage because we were starting at the front," blah, blah. And then the ones that were starting at the back were like, "Oh, we had such a big disadvantage starting at the back." So, like the French were saying, "Oh, it wasn't good to start at the front," but then Sweden, Italy, the ones that had retirements last year, were saying, "No, it was really bad to come from behind." So.
Yeah, I know these conditions are very critical. That's sure, but it's always a polemic. But yeah, yesterday Andrea make a really good job because I did on the past, starting at the back, you pass a lot of rider on the stage. You cannot ride like as you want because it's a lot of traffic. And the first rider in the front, sure, with the grass, it's a little better because both riders making the French classic. So, you know, then the Frenchmen want fresh grass.
So there's a big fight to go into the test first there in the French Classic.
But I have a question. How many clicks you change between the stage? Because the first stage, the first and third, it's really different than those one. You keep the same regulation or you change a lot?
Me, I'm a rider that I never change nothing, but
I see
in
this.
this race, yes.
Yeah, don't, I see you this morning.
No. I
I
promise you, in Wales, for example, in the last GP, don't touch a click in the
Okay.
whole weekend. But here, like for sure, the cave was like sand. But for the test 2 and 3, I keep my standard setup.
Okay.
I just put for the first one because it was deep holes, bit sandy, mixed with some rocks. For sure, there's I change. I put harder suspensions. But when it's normal dirt, I feel so good in my bike now. For sure, a little bit hard, but I find a good compromise to be able to push and don't make big changes. And this is why I really like this bike that I have right now, my setup, because what I remember from this year, in the GPs, I never touch a click.
Okay. And you, Andrea?
Yeah, yesterday I started with my standard setup from the first lap. Then on second lap I thought that the test one was going to be bumpy. So I closed some clicks, but it was not enough and it was already quite bumpy. So today for the first lap I closed even more. So yes, I was quite much harder than my standard in that test. But then on the other 2 tests I was just a little bit more hard in the fork, last 3 clicks more close on the compression and nothing more. Okay. So quite close to my standard.
Between yourselves, you know, you're sitting next to one another here. There's not been much to choose between you today. I said at the top of the program just before you came in, there were 2 years, I think, maybe 3, where you were first and second in the scratch. Obviously, you had the retirement last year, but apart from that, the previous years, you know, you're there, always fighting with one another. Amongst yourselves, how do you manage this nice rivalry that also has, you know, its part at the 6 days, but also the wider season as a whole?
Yeah, it has, with Andrea, it's not just 6 days, it's also World Championship. We fight there, also with Steve and other riders, you know. At the end, Enduro, you are fighting against the clock. So you can make nothing to the other rider. Just push your limits and try to be better. For sure, during race is some tension. It's like this.
Normal.
It's normal. He want to win, I want to win.
Yes.
So it's normal, but yeah, at the end, I'm fighting for what I want. And I think we are different. It's good because we are in the same structure more or less, but we have completely different bikes, completely different styles, and also completely different character, I would say. So we are different quite, I think, in everything. So this, I think, is we never like shock because at the end everyone have his job by the side, and then we meet is never a problem, for sure.
Yeah, like he said, till now we never had a problem, and we always, talk like we are talking now or sitting by each other at the
we
team.
dinner together every night in the track, in the water.
Yeah,
So
it's no problem.
no problem.
For sure. Then, when the day of racing, we are there is some tension, but this is normal. And this is good, I think, because it's racing. It's normal like this, but I think it's a good rivalry, and we are, like he said, it's against the clock, so you have to be focused on yourself and to push the limit. And then, if you are faster, then you good. But you know,
me, I have tension with all the riders fighting with me at the end.
It doesn't change who is.
But look, the first one who you're looking at the times, after you've seen your own times, you want to know what he's done, and you want to know what he's done.
Sure,
right?
because we are fighting each other today,
Yeah.
so for
but
sure.
for sure, for example, today Berna was so fast yesterday in the cave, so I have tension with Berna because I want to beat Berna there.
But yeah, you can play your life with anybody in the world. You come to the tref at the last motocross, he puts the limit over. But I have one question. We don't ask him because we know already. Then he can go over the comfort zone, right? But you...
Quite often.
He never stay in. He was all the time over. But you, because when we see you riding, we more or less see you all the time on the control with the technical and everything. But what is your feeling? Sometimes you go over than your comfort zone, or you stay in?
I'm quite always in. It's quite always under control. Obviously, sometimes not. But I have a completely different riding style to him, and he's for sure more aggressive and more. Aggressive, I think is the right word, and I'm much more calm and smooth in my riding, which is better in some conditions, but for sure his riding style is matching better other conditions. And I think like this, I think.
No,
It's a good approach for the 6 days, though, right? Because we saw it last year. You can have a retirement; it ends your week. But if you're under control and more or less you're managing the situation, like you're in a situation where Italy as a team has a real chance to win this competition this year. Do you have to think, okay, much as I see Giuseppe is setting P1, 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 I also need to be thinking about the team and the process for the week?
I don't think about. I think about the team for sure, but it's not that I'm taking care because of the team. For sure, I'm giving always my maximum, and this is obvious. I think now I go back to your question before that I'm like under control, and for me it's like difficult to go more, and I need to I have to be under control and to push also my full limit,
Yeah.
But
because my question was, I know Giuseppe, I have more or less the same problem than you, because I have my adversary was René, and René has the same style than you. He was looking like all the time under control, but he told me, say, I am at the limit. I say, shit, when you are riding, I don't see.
For sure, I feel the limit, but maybe it doesn't look from outside that I'm on the limit.
Me, I'm more in control than what you think.
No, it's because sometimes I have the orgueil, when Nambotin or Pella was pushing a little bit, I can, in the last stage, go very over to my limit until the crash. And I say, okay, I give everything, I crash, okay. But I can accept to finish second if I give more than what I have, and then I crash. I say, okay, now I accept.
Okay.
But I think you don't go over this limit, and you say, okay, today I'm not able to fight, and you accept and you put the points.
No, this not, because like on the last test I crashed, not today, and for sure I was trying to get back as much second as I could on the last test, and there I found the limit. And maybe it doesn't look from outside because I'm not braking super hard. I'm not. My limit is maybe different to his limit. Maybe my riding style is a bit different, so from outside the limit is you don't see it so much. What I mean?
No, because we
Also
see very well.
Also the bikes are different.
Yes.
Yeah. But when we go in a downhill, we see exactly your limit.
But me, I feel good.
Yeah, but because you look front, when you look the outside, the rear are not on the same line many times.
But the front is always straight. No, but today I was with a suspension guy talking about this, but I feel this more in the cave one. When I close the gas, that the bike is kicking a bit. When I'm on the gas, it's working good. So we are trying to find something there, but for sure.
No, but like you say, I was in the cave, I was watching both. He take time to play with the bump. You just go flat out. The bike, it's moving, so it's very spectacular to the outside, but it's different technical. You are very strong to turn tight. You have this very strange technique that I need to learn because I don't drive. You turn the bike without turning the handlebar. Then Andrea turned the bike with the handlebar all the time. So it's so interesting to watch you to the outside.
Yeah, because at the end, the time is the same.
Yeah.
More or less.
Yeah,
And also, even if I put him 1-2 seconds or he give me 1-2 seconds, I think after that test is nothing.
Yeah, of course.
Because it's
sure.
a lot
but
of
it's
stuff.
The fight, like he say, it's very intense. The question was, did you have what we say, order to the staff. Then he tell you, okay, today is slow, or he give you just free flat
Freedom.
out. I know, nobody have a control, but on you, same.
Yes.
Okay, because in French team, sometimes the coach try to arrive and to say,
But from Italian team.
Yeah.
No, for sure they told me, go full gas, but pay attention. And I said, okay, for obviously, but for sure I'm going always.
Me, they tell me, but I don't care. At the end, in my life, I had many experience. Like when I tried to manage and slow down,
it's
I
easier
had
to
the
make
crash.
a crash, for sure.
So
It's better to be 100%.
we are used to go in that point. So, and also as fast as you go is better for the team.
yeah,
So
right.
Yeah.
If you, I say always, if you have to crash, you will crash.
Yeah.
Anyway, if you are pushing or not. Sometimes look like Steve this year have an injury without crash.
Yes.
So you never know. Look, yesterday me, I go over the bars. I feel nothing today. I was okay. Okay, it was a slow crash, but something can happen, you know.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, I'm a rider that I think that you need to go 100%, and then because at that point you are focused.
Yeah, of
When you are
course.
on the limit, you know.
Yeah, very well.
Yeah.
No, but it's for no, I don't know.
Yeah.
For me, the
And
same. When
tomorrow-
you start thinking, it's worse. It's easier to make the mistake,
Yeah,
you know?
of course. But tomorrow we start a new loop. Tomorrow it's a really enduro race starting, harder, very difficult stage. What you think? You start with managing a little bit or just flat out straight?
Depends the test. I think depends also how will be. If they are wet or not, it will change a lot. I also can control myself a little bit. When I go inside the enduro test that tomorrow it will be slippery, you need to think with your riding, and I know that I cannot push in some places. At the end, okay, I'm in the limit, but I understand what they have to do. And I think tomorrow we have two tests that it will be difficult, like two enduro tests, one in one river section and another one like single track, but really slippery. And then we have, I think, 3 tests in the grass that there you can go full gas.
Well, gents, it's been a great pleasure to hear you speaking, and to be honest, we could probably be here for many more minutes, hours, and still be enjoying the conversation. But we've got to let these guys go. You're not racing anymore, but they've still got to think about coming back tomorrow to do more business, and we'll look forward to having a look later on at how they got on as well. But for the moment, certainly, Giuseppe Garcia tearing it up on day 2 here in Bergamo, and Italy in a very strong position as far as the World Trophy is concerned. Thank you very much, gents, for joining us. Antoine, stay put, because we've got 2 more categories coming up in just a couple of moments.
Motorex presents race-proven moto lubricants and care products. Motorex, oil of Switzerland.
We're ready. And you?
And for the Junior Trophy, we're now joined by Australia's Kyron Bacon and for the USA, Grant Davis, both battling inside the top 10 positions in scratch throughout today. And Grant, not the best first special, but then you were, I think, 3rd fastest in the second test, and much better day 2 for you, because day 1 was a tough one to start the week.
Yeah, for sure. I could not stay off the ground yesterday at all. I was crashing so much, and I was just getting mad at myself. But today was way better. Started off the day, though, with another crash, and I was like, oh, we can't do this again. So I figured it out and started riding a little bit smoother. And he was ripping today. I'll give him that. I thought we were going to be close, but we were all day long. And then last test, I had to go down again and lose some more time. But I'll give it to the guy. He was on fire.
And Kyron, yesterday, they were not Australian conditions, let's put it that way, because of the wet weather we'd had in advance. And kind of around the middle, well, the end of the first lap, things were getting pretty difficult for the Aussies in all the classes, actually. Then the last two specials of yesterday, you were super, and you've carried that nicely into day two.
Yeah, for sure. You know, yesterday I started off a little bit rough, just kind of working my way into it. I haven't had so much time on the bike the last 2 weeks. I got knocked out at the last GP, so, you know, I had to kind of work my way back into it and get a feeling for the bike. And, yeah, the last two tests were really good, and then started the day off strong, and, yeah, really happy with today.
And Antoine, what have you seen of these guys out there, the Australian and the US men, always competitive in all the classes, but these juniors coming through as well?
Yeah, I was very impressive today. Both are making some very good lap time on the overall. So also on the last stage, it was very impressive. It's the same than before. You know, you have two different styles. One, it's more smooth and more under control, and the Australian was completely flat out at the limit all the time, but was very, very fast. It's many times you play with the limit on the braking, but it's working very well. I don't see your crash many times, but I enjoy a lot the corner speed that you have, and it's very nice to see a new rider coming on the top 10 many times. So it's good. And for you, it's a big change between your championship, home championship, than this kind of race.
Yeah, I normally race for 3 hours instead of sprinting, so I'm used to consuming my energy, but now I just got to go all out every test I go out, and sometimes I get like a little bit like thinking to myself, I'm like, oh, I'll go slow in this turn to like kind of save some stuff, and I'm like, no, I can't do that, so I got to go fast. But yeah, it's definitely different from like in America to what we race in GNCCs, but I've been racing the Sprint Enduro Championship this year, and it helped me out a lot in sprints compared to last year.
And Grant, the US junior team, I think, second and then third in the last 2 seasons. So you're there or thereabouts waiting for the first title of this generation, let's say. But you're starting to build a bit of a unit at junior level.
Yeah, absolutely. I was coming here. I want to win the junior overall really bad because it might be my last year in juniors. I'm not sure yet, but Auntie, the boss, he might want to put me up to the world team is what he told me. So he goes, you got one more shot to do it. So that's what I'm going for this year.
You were 11th in scratch, wasn't it, last year? So was it a bit of a surprise maybe because you were ahead of a lot of the World Trophy riders last season that maybe they could have used you to boost up the World Trophy times a little bit?
Yeah, so it was between me and Cody actually, and the last sprint enduro we did at like the camp or whatever, me and Cody matched for the whole weekend. So I told Auntie, I'm like, you know, if you hired me for the world team, then you got to find another junior rider. So why don't you just take Cody for the world and put me on juniors? So it kind of made it out good.
And Kyron knows all about that, of course, because junior, world, junior. But actually, you being in the junior team strengthens Australia at this under-23 level.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I was in juniors not last year, the year before. The year before that in France. Yeah, that was my first 6 day, and we did quite well. Ended up on the podium, which was really cool. And yeah, I was lucky enough to be in the trophy team last year, which was also a cool experience. Not the best results there. Struggled just a bit on and off all day and all 6 days really. But yeah, pumped to be back on the junior team. We've got a solid team this year, and yeah, who knows? There's still a lot of racing to go, and hopefully all three of us can keep it on 2 wheels and stay off the ground. So.
We're seeing some of the pictures from yesterday, and you know, obviously the day started off pretty challenging. But what's your feeling out there, both yesterday and today? You know, the difference between the conditions in the 2 days as well.
Just how slippery it is now. Like yesterday, it was like riding on ice in spots. You know, gentle on the throttle. Like you couldn't get on the gas because the track was so slippery. The rocky test, it kind of suited me. I'm from Tasmania, and I've got a quarry like 5 minutes from my house, so always riding in that rocky quarry kind of stuff. So today that really came in hand, and yeah, paid off in the end of the day. So really pumped.
And Antoine, what's that like when, because you're going back for the second day of the same loop, let's say, you're experiencing something that theoretically you've already been, but now the conditions are completely different. It's like a reset, or how do you approach it as a rider?
Yeah, it's very difficult because you have two kind of riders. You have like the French rider, like when it's flat, it's grass and easy. And then when the stage are coming rough, you have rust and everything, it's slow a little bit. You don't drive to go down with the time. And you have these kind of guys coming from motocross. And then it's opposite. When it's grass, no lines, it's very difficult for us. And then when it start to be very rough, he start to play with the legs and everything. And then there you see today the time was really good. And then he can play with team style very aggressive. Then yesterday he cannot touch the gas. So the very good things in enduro, you need to adapt your style all the time at the condition. And then at that race tomorrow, we restart a new day. So different stage again.
No ruts. She's flat again.
Yeah, flat again and slippery.
Yep.
So not good day for you.
We see. Hopefully we can improve.
but at the beginning of the day, but then of course when you're coming back round later in the day, okay, tomorrow's a bit different because we've got so many new tests and not repeating many. But in general, you are repeating them, aren't you? So what's that like from your perspective?
I don't know. Like I don't know. Just the first test is always, I don't know. For me, all this year, my first test has always been the worst. I don't know why, but even on the test track, my first laps are always the worst. But, you know, when I get in a flow and it's kind of like the bike, riding comes easy, you know, like, you know, obviously you put in looks like you're going fast and the bike's revving and all that. It looks like you're putting a lot of effort into it. But when you finish the test, you just think, wow, like that felt pretty easy. But, you know, when it gets slippery, there's nothing to hit and you feel a bit tight at the start of the day and there's, you know, track's slippery. It's so much harder to just stay on track and hit your lines and bank off the ruts and stuff. So.
Yeah, and Grant, what's your natural riding style? What are you thinking when you're hearing these comments as well?
I mean, I like test 2 and 5 today was my favorite with the ruts, but I just like leaning into the ruts because it's like a GNCC, so I'm so much used to that compared to just ripping a grass track with just grass on the top and it being slick. But I got better at it this year than compared to last year. Last year I was horrible at it, so definitely improved on it.
And the two of you are kind of growing up together, aren't you? Because last year, I think you were within 10 positions of one another in the scratch overall. Here you are again today, very evenly matched and sort of battling with one another. So are these guys, you know, are you looking for the same guys in the timesheets at the end of each day, or are you really focused on yourself and your teams? How's your approach?
For me, obviously you're kind of looking at the times so you know where you're at a little bit, but I try not to look at everyone's times, you know, just don't want to get distracted. Focus on having fun and enjoying riding, and let the results look after themselves. But
yeah, for me, I definitely would say the same, but all day today I was looking at his times to see what he would run after the test, just to see. But I was pumped up the 5th test today. I'm like, oh, I got him by 3 or 4 seconds. Now we're close, and then I go and crash. I'm like, oh, there we go. But
and which special was it you had off?
The last one.
Okay.
Yep. But
okay though, physically good.
Yeah, all
ready
good
for tomorrow. So tell us a little bit about tomorrow, what you've seen and what you're looking forward to.
For me, I think the enduro test will be quite nice. Starts off with a bit of motocross, which is cool. Obviously, the rain's probably going to make it a little bit more slippery maybe in the morning. But, yeah, enduro test in the trees. I like that kind of riding, you know, a bit more technical. But, yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I'd say that's my favorite test, too. That's just, like, kind of like a GNCC where you got to, like, use your head and, like, kind of pick a line out and ride it super smooth instead of just blast through stuff. So, yeah, that's definitely my favorite test of this week.
Well, big thanks to Kyron and Grant, and wishing you the best of luck for tomorrow and for the remainder of the week. Thanks very much for joining us, and we'll be back in just a couple of seconds with the Women's Trophy riders. And alongside me now, two of the top 10 women from yesterday's opening day of competition here in Bergamo. Shelby Turner of Canada and Francesca Nocera of Italy. And Francesca, after what was a sort of first experience or a first chance in the Women's Trophy last season, very special 2025 edition, because this is genuinely a home event for you.
Yeah, hello everyone. Yeah, it's really emotional to ride here, especially in the last test. It's crazy. The people are there cheering. It's really emotionally. It's been a good start of the 6 days this year. Unfortunately, I'm injured with the knee and I can't push all day 100%, but I'm just trying to have one good feeling in some special test, as I'm leading the World Championship in Enduro, and that's my main goal this season. And yeah, I finished 4 yesterday, and I think 7 today. I'm not sure. I didn't check yet. But yeah, I had a really good feeling all day, and I tried to push more tomorrow, as it's going to change a lot because the tests are totally different. And yeah, we keep going.
As you said yesterday, fourth fastest, so just behind the three Americans who really started tearing it up from the beginning of the weekend. What was your first experience of the conditions? Because over the course of 2 days, we've seen almost like all of the different weather that we can have in this area of Italy.
We started yesterday with a lot of rain, and was really slippery, the test. But then in the second lap, I really find a good rhythm, and I really like all the tests. Struggling a bit in the first one, but I can't push a lot with my knee when it's bumpy. So I try to push in the second and third test, and I missed the last test for 1 second from Brandy, which one is really fast. And yeah, so I'm really happy.
Shelby, how about you? For you now, you've done so many of these. Was 2013 your first one?
Yeah, 2013 was my first one in Italy, actually. So we're bringing it back around. So excited to be here. And yeah, the vibes this year, following you around through the tests. I see all the spectators and the fans, and that's definitely a cool experience, even for me. Even though it's not from my home country, it's just cool to see the support that you guys have.
And you finished in the top 5 in the women's scratch the last 2 editions that you've done. So obviously leading the timesheets for your country as well. So there is a bit of a battle going on there, isn't there?
Yeah. I mean, yesterday was a slow start for me. I had a couple of instances on the step up, just getting stuck behind some lappers and then making some mistakes, and that really costed me yesterday. But today had a little bit better starting row and got in the roll with these girls and put in some fast times again today. So super happy with my ride, and just got to keep on clicking. It's a long race for sure.
It's a tricky thing to manage when you've got multiple members of your team or whatever. You're not just racing for yourselves, and obviously you're the lead riders from your team, but how do you give advice, or how do you help your teammates to try and move their times forward as well? Because over the course of a week, obviously when we look at the final classification, first we're looking at the team's results but before the rider results.
Yeah, it's definitely different at being a team because we are always so individual, but for me, it's just making sure that the girls have a positive attitude and are staying on time and not taking any unnecessary trail minutes. And they're doing a really good job this year. They're keeping their time in the test. We had a little instant test one with one of the riders, and she got a little bit more time in there than she probably needed to. But she's been rolling clean the rest of the time, so just trying to keep her positive and keep rolling.
Yeah, and how about you for trying to support the other members of your team? And obviously with it being a big event in Italy this year, even more important that they enjoy and have the opportunity to express themselves too.
As you say, For sure, to give some positive vibes, for sure, and I just try to help them when we arrive, when we have time during the race, to give them some good line or Anyway, like she says, it's really important to be positive because it's a long, long race, and every day is a single day, and everything restart. So yeah, the same positive vibes.
It's tricky, isn't it, to manage the scratch, the teammates, the team result, because okay, we were when we were talking earlier on in the World Trophy, and you were comparing the riding styles in your day and the riders you were looking at, but all of the riders you mentioned were other French riders. So actually, your reference and your point of comparison were within your own team as well as broader.
I think for Francesca, it's more pressure than everybody because home race, she lives in the town. So you know all the people there and you have a pressure. It's a good vibes, but it's a pressure. And second things, you have the US team very strong because the three girls are riding strong both, and it's very homogeneous team. And after you have a different, all the team have one good girl and then two medium girl. So you need to also manage the other girl to arrive to make a good team. Because with your experience, you can give more, vibes, power as you want. But because for you, it's a very long race, 6 days until the last days, everything can happen.
The other challenge, from a logistic perspective, so we've got the most home race possible, where you can sort of roll out of bed and turn up in the mornings, but you've got the long distance travelers, as it were. What's that been like to come to Italy? As you said, you've done it before, but always a nice experience.
Yeah, for sure. It's just super weird. All my friends and family back home are 8 hours time difference. So my dad's rolling out of bed and looking at the results, and I'm getting ready to go to sleep for the day. So that's definitely really strange. But yeah, I always like coming to Italy. It's super cool just to have a local here. I was asking her today when we were riding, I was like, how close do you live? And do you get to go to your own bed? Like, you staying in your own house?
30 minutes? It's 30 minutes.
Oh my goodness. That's amazing.
Every morning to go and come back is...
You're going home though?
No.
No, okay.
I'm staying here with the federation.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Tempted? At half an hour away? It's not so much.
Yeah, it's not so much, but with the traffic is a bit more. So it's better to not be late.
Yeah, yesterday there was a lot going on as far as traffic was concerned. But anyway, you talked about a little bit of traffic out on the special test. What was it like, riding today? The conditions, the weather, very different terrain as well compared to yesterday because of the change in weather.
Yeah, it couldn't have been more different today. It was our first loop through was so fun. It was like, couldn't have got better dirt, honestly. And the tracks weren't too exploded yet. So it was just a really good day. And then obviously it dried up for the second part, and it got pretty scary in the first test. Like, that really deteriorated, and you didn't want to end your 6 days there. So it was just being careful and managing that. And then for me, back in Canada, we're so open and there's so much land everywhere and not so many people. So to come here and then have to go skinnying between two cars side by side. Francesca today had her hand off the handlebar and I was white-knuckled, so I was skidding arm pump hanging on. So I get back and I'm like, you guys are so good at driving down the center of the road.
Yeah, because you're used to the Italian driving, right,
Exactly,
by now? Yeah, I'm not used to it yet either. What are we looking for now, tomorrow? New trails, new course, new everything. We're going off in a north direction. And I guess you know a little bit more than everyone else what to expect.
Yeah, for sure it's going to be different. And also the tests are going to be different, maybe more sketchy and more enduro. And I hope we're going to have some really nice transfer. And but anyway, it's totally different from tomorrow. Maybe few can be the same, but yeah, it's different.
Because you've seen so many 6 days as well by this point, and every year is so different from one another. I'm thinking particularly last year in Sierra, the vast majority of riders finished the course. San Juan 2 years ago, loads of retirements and massive rate of attrition. So the course has started, we had all the World Trophy riders back at the end of the day yesterday, and vast majority today as well. But now the second half of the week, it starts to get a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, it's just, this is probably the first 6 days I've been to that's had that much road. So, it is what it is. Each 6 day has their own thing. But last year it was difficult to stay on time, and they had some really long, bumpy transfers where today we were spoiled, if you will. So I'm expecting tomorrow to be a little bit tougher, just trying to make time and not having quite so much time in the check areas. But you never know what it's going to be like. I have absolutely no idea what we're going into tomorrow. So I'm excited. I typically like the more technical stuff. So I'm game for it.
And targets for the rest of the week now? What's your expectation and hope now?
Yeah, we're just always trying to get on the podium for the day. That's a really good day. The Americans are going fast. The Australians are going fast. So, we're just always trying to improve and do better each day. But mainly just keep it on two wheels and be safe out there. It's a long couple of days and a lot can happen. And yeah, I'm just excited to be
fast,
out
but
here.
we also fast.
Yeah, we're faster. We'll be faster tomorrow.
And what about you? Apart from, the spectacle and the Italian fans and making sure that everyone here enjoys themselves, what are you hoping for? Just keep yourself fit and
Yeah, it's really hard to make one goal for these 6 days, because I really need to look every day, every single day, every single special test. Because today I twist my knee in the second test, and it's not easy to keep going. But as I say, I couldn't miss this opportunity to race here in at home, and I guess probably it's once in life, and I'm really happy to be here, and I will try to do my best.
Well, many thanks to these ladies. We're going to let you go in just a couple of moments' time, but first we're going to take a look at what we can expect tomorrow, the second loop. And it is Rivalry through the Alpine foothills, 5 different special tests we've got during the day. So 4 cross tests, first visit to the Pista Enduro Scalvino, which is a permanent enduro facility, and another 178 kilometers ahead of us. So Antoine, what are we expecting? We've heard a few words already. What are we expecting tomorrow?
Yeah, tomorrow we go in the mountain a little bit, so it start to climb a little bit, less road, more single track, and new stage, so we'll be slippery again. So be careful.
No pressure.
I have only one question. What is your championship in Canada at your home? It's exactly like same in Europe, or it's different?
In Canada, it's more like America.
Cross
So,
GNCC.
yeah. I actually race GNCCs and stuff full time with those girls. So that's where I'm at. Canada's kind of small. We don't have anything that goes across the board. We got I guess we got one race, the Corduroy for Enduro. And it's 2-day long event, and it's ran kind of like the 6 day. But other than that, we don't really have a national championship, so to say. We just got provincial stuff. So most of us end up riding down in the States, GNCC, National Enduros, that kind of thing.
Oh.
So more than a third of the course now completed, but we've still got 7 new special tests to come in the next couple of days, so plenty to look forward to. Do join us at the same time tomorrow for our 3rd live studio show on FIM Moto TV. Thanks as always to our guests and to my co-host Antoine, and see you soon.